Hello, everyone. Welcome to Quantum Catechesis. I'm Father Joe Krupp, and you are not. And one of the things I want to ascertain, I love that word, ascertain. It's a good word. Fairly quickly is if the picture is any better. Because this is the iPhone 11. And I'm dying to know. Will it make a difference? Is the picture, I know you're going to say to yourself, well, Joe, how could we ever tell if you're prettier? How do you improve on perfection? I get that. But is the picture clearer than usual? Or does it look the same as usual? What's your thoughts? I want to know. I want to almost do like a radio show thing, right? America, tell us your thoughts. But I don't think America is watching.
I do.
Like a tiny infinitesimal? Okay, oh, there's somebody.
That's important is here.
Sue, does the picture look clearer than usual, or does it look the same as usual? That's what I want to know.
Heather thinks it looks clearer.
Heather? Our Heather?
No.
Oh, Heather. She was a student at MSU when I was there, and I believe I was ridiculously blessed to do her wedding.
Patty says the camera's so good she can see the church.
Excelente. Excelente. Did you guys see the way I whipped off my glasses dramatically? Oh, look, they're crooked. But because it's backward, I can never...
Figure out how to...
Right. Right. So anyway, I'm so happy to be here with you all. It feels like forever. Wednesdays always feel like forever since I saw you beautiful people. Thank you, Kansas. So I am fired up for this week. We've got what I believe Todd said it was truck and bus.
He did.
Okay.
He
And
did.
Todd, thanks for tuning in. I see you all. I see you all. I do. I wish I could. Like when I started this show, do you remember this? The poor people watching. The first 20 minutes were me with my glasses on, reading the names, like Natalie right there, whose husband I know very well. Jack, my boy, right? And no, see, I could do it. I would spend like 20 minutes saying hello to everyone and not get any show content in. Like Philomena, whom I love. And Scott, whom I love. And Jack, whom I love. Look, I'm just doing this.
But we've overcome that.
So, anyway, thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for caring. Oh, my gosh, everyone, if you take a look, Father Jeff Rose just joined us.
Nice.
Okay? Geoff, and then Rose like a flower, then OSFS. Andrew? What? Sorry. I didn't say anything. I did not point out Andrew. Or Heather. Or Scott. Or Cindy. Anyway, what was I telling you? Oh, so for those of you who don't know, Father Jeff Rose is my best friend in the world. We have been friends since we were 14 years old. And we both became priests. I became a priest way before him because I'm a lot holier. And Jeff is, I believe, what medical doctors call a huge sinner. Hey, Nude, your flashlight's on your phone.
Oh, how's that going?
That's great. Okay, so I helped my brother out. Hi, Shelly. And there's Verlander. I gotta stop. I can't stop. Hello, Lisa. Okay, and I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna look because I'll do this all afternoon. I'll just say hello to you, and I have so many neat little memories with like a lot of you. I do. And I want to tell people those. But anyway, so if you all look, Father Jeff Rose, New York, is here. And he's the best friend I've got. I'm not kidding. And I love him. And I think part of the reason I'm a happy priest is because of him. And it's kind of neat. Our personalities are similar, but our tastes are ridiculously, extremely different. Right? It's really funny. I like good things. He likes bad things. All right. So what are we doing this week? Let's take a look. And hey, Carly. See, I will stop. I promise. I know. I got to stop this. I need to cover up your comments. This screen is much bigger than our usual screen. And even with my glasses off, I can kind of see who's on here. And that's a problem for you people. Because like we might get to 1 o'clock and I'll be like, okay, let's start. And in the meantime, you'll all heard useless and weird stories. And even some embarrassing ones, I think. So, first of all, what are we doing this week? Tomorrow, I'm very excited for the show. You're going to be meeting my lovely research assistant, Kevin Nugent. Right? Did you agree to this yet?
No.
Oh, crap. Hey, Kevin.
Okay.
Will you be on the show tomorrow?
Carrie told me I was going to be, so I didn't think I had.
Nice. All right. Nuge and Martha. I do love Martha. Can I just say that? And now I'll stop.
Okay, Father Jeff Rose posted the best.
Jeff Rose did?
Yeah.
What did he post? Is it lovely or is it funny? Because he is insane. He's truly one of the funniest
It's a
people
great
I know.
Meme. It says, "Get on with it."
Get on with it. All right, Rose.
Can I be on his show?
Yeah. Kevin wants to be on your show, not mine. Apparently he likes adults. So anyway, what we're going to do tomorrow is talk to Kevin Nugent. He has played a big role in my life. And what I think you'll get to see is not just what an amazing person he is, and I mean this, a man who loves Jesus and whose faith honestly permeates every part of his life. I mean it. As much as I tease that man, I love him deeply. But more important, if I may, for tomorrow's purposes, what Nugent has done is come here to the parish in his retirement. He took he set aside a year of his life to serve the church. And he's teaching us how to operate in a healthy way. No? You don't
you're
agree?
good. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're shaking your head at something else. Jeff's
Yeah.
making awful comments, isn't he? Jeff, stop it. You don't really have to.
Somebody said, "When is Carrie going to be on?" And you have to explain.
Okay,
never.
I'll get after Carrie in just a minute. Why Carrie will never be on here. And some of it's because she has a drinking problem. I can't count on her to be sober.
Calm down, Kevin.
So, Kevin, and actually, this is part of Father Jeff's skill set, truly. I should get Jeff on here. Jeff has tremendous secular business knowledge. He really does. And not in terms of the money making, although I assume he's good at that too, but in terms of personnel and organizing systems of communication, he's really extraordinary. And so is Nugent, and that's what he's been helping us do. And I'm so excited because one of the things I'm hoping you guys will hear as we talk to Nuge is ways you can help at the parish. Dead serious, right? So why is Carrie not going to be on the show? This is, okay, my sister Heidi says she can't access our show. I think I know what's going on.
She doesn't have internet.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
It's not in my contract.
It's not in Carrie's. Oh, Carrie just won't do it. I'm not even really supposed to say her name, and I'm dead serious, Carrie Pilarski. I'm not even supposed to. Did I say it?
No.
No, I didn't say Carrie Pilarski, did I?
No, I did not hear Carrie Pilarski.
Did you hear Carrie Pilarski?
No, I did not hear
Dad,
Carrie
did you
Pilarski.
hear Carrie Pilarski?
No, I didn't hear Carrie. Go on.
Okay. No, I didn't say it. I'm not looking at her. I'm afraid of her. No, I'm not afraid of Carrie. I'm afraid of angering her.
That's wise.
Yeah.
I live in constant fear.
Yeah. Don't we all? So anyway, you guys, you have messed around enough, and it's time for us to start. So tomorrow, we will have Kevin Nugent on here to talk to us about what it's like to serve as a business manager, how he used his gifts in the secular world, and brought them here to the church to help us operate, and I want to be careful with this word, more efficiently. But when I say more efficiently, that's not our goal. Our goal is to serve best. Right? And he's helping us do that by bringing in secular business practices and only the ones that can apply. You know, because there's secular business practice, but we're not about making money. We're not about actually efficiency as much as we are about how can we get the word out to the most people that they are precious to God, that they are cherished by God, and that they are called to holiness by our God. Scotland didn't hear Carrie's name. What? I'm just helping. I was bringing clarity. So we've been, so that's Friday. Now that's Thursday. What's Friday? Dudes and dudettes. Is dudettes. On Friday, the live show is going to be in our new church, which is not completed. Don't get all whatever, right? If you're from Holy Family going, what is the church done? No, the church will be done. They're now very confident by 2027. We're excited about that. But in the interim, it's looking pretty good in there. We've hung all the pictures of me. How's this? Here's a true story. Ready? Every picture of me that's going to be in the church is in there. That's a fact. We are not putting my face up there. We want people to come to church.
Yeah, we buried it with the holy relics.
Yeah.
Maybe that helped you.
Because here's the key. Like, when you look at this, you see why God chose him to, he spared some Catholic woman a lifetime of me being inflicted on her. So, there will be no pictures of me up there. There will be pictures of Jesus, or our Blessed Mother, lots of saints. So today we're going to continue our discussion about the end of the world and final judgment, and I'm kind of excited about it. There is a lot that ties into this that I hope will help us. So to review, if I may, last week we talked about, let me get there. We looked at our catechism and about what does our catechism tell us is going to happen. Right? Namely, one thing we know is that as we get closer to the end of the world, and again, well, darn it, I am going to back up more. I'm sorry. But for those of you who didn't listen last week because you don't love God enough, isn't that cool how I slid that in? Yeah. Do you know I didn't eat lunch today?
No.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed.
I'm doing this without hot dog.
I know.
I had a protein bar, or a kind bar. Kind breakfast probiotic peanut butter dark chocolate.
It's because Kevin's meeting went too long.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about? Oh, so the thing to remember is there will have always been people telling you the situation around us tells us the end is close. And usually that's based on our personal experience of reality. And by the way, this is crazy. I think I'm right on this, but I don't know. We talk about, well, things are so... Shoot. I'm out of water. And I swallowed my mint. I'm so sorry. It's all the crack. I swallowed my mint. And I can't quit coughing. Coffee? No, coffee's not helping. Okay. Wow. Don't swallow a nicotine mint when you're trying to talk. So in our country right now, this has been a weird year. With the fact that we've lost our mind politically and with the violence and, oh, thank you, Carrie. I'm so grateful. Sorry, everyone. Hold on. Do you remember when Marcos Rubio did this? Do you remember Rubio years ago was doing a live segment and he just, hold your arms up. Why? What did I do?
That helps with the coughing.
This does?
Yeah.
Well, I did quit coughing.
And I can come back and
Who said that? I award 10 Jesus points to whomever said that about holding my arms up. That's weird. Kimberly. So, what were we talking about? Oh, we look at our situation, and I do hear this from people who are like, well, things are so crazy right now. It's just like the end, and blah, blah, blah. Americans are a tiny percentage of the world's population. We got to remember that. American Catholics, and I love us, but are the worst at this. We think if we're dealing with something, well, I remember when Pope Francis first got made Pope, and I fell for this. He did this whole thing on priests refusing to baptize children because mom and dad aren't married, and how awful that is. And all these American priests, that's so stupid. How would he, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's doing that. And it never seemed to occur to anybody that American Catholics represent about 4% of the world's Catholic population. So if you're not good at math, 4% is not many. Right? So then you find out, well, maybe in other places it's a pretty big problem. And it turns out, surprise, he was right. There are priests outside of the U.S. who often, apparently, will say, no, if you're not married, we're not baptizing your kid. Or if we don't agree with your marriage, like in the sense of homosexual unions. right? Why would you do that to a baby, right? What the hey? So that's an example. So we look at our lives. Well, one of the things I did after someone said about how bad things are in the world right now, I looked up India. Okay? India's huge. There's more people in India than in China. Do you get, holy cow, 1.3 billion humans live in India. Do you know how many humans live in the U.S.? 330 million. We're not even the point. Their point is bigger than us. They're like 1.37 billion. So there's more in their point than there is in our total, okay? Turns out their life standards have never been better. Turns out they're doing pretty darn good over it. Is it utopia? Oh, sweet Lord, no, humans can't pull that off. You look at Russia, their standard of living's never been this high. There's places where all over the world where people are thriving. Africa has never been doing so well. And again, all those places I just named have a ton more people than us. So sometimes we fall into this trap of saying, well, look at how chaotic it is. Jesus is coming back soon. It's been this chaotic everywhere sometimes. It's our turn for chaos because, again, we've lost our minds. And I think being locked up in our homes didn't help. I'm not saying we shouldn't have been. Sweet Lord. You know how people get. Hey, Scotland. Sons of Scotland! All right, I'm sorry. I had to. Patricia's here, and I love her. I got to stop this. I can see the screen now. This is a different screen than I usually use, so I got to... I'm not looking at you people.
Can you turn it on?
Huh? No, don't turn it around. I want to see this.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I so don't. You don't know. Like, I'm not a pretty man. Okay. So, do away with the lie that somehow, because things are bad, we're in the end days. Things have always been bad, and things have always been getting better somewhere else. It's our turn to struggle. All right? So, with that, what does our catechism teach us? That the church will go through a trial. And we talked about this last week. Don't worry, I won't keep pounding this. But the church is going to go through a brutal time. And once again, we might look at now and say, oh, that's now. I don't know. The church has gone through some messed up stuff. Seriously. It's a mess now. I get it. If I think one more financial scandal from the Vatican, and I will fly over there and burn that place down. Right? Figuratively. Yeah. For all the hardworking men and women of the NSA listening in, I meant that figuratively. And I love America.
And the Vatican.
And the Vatican.
And the Pope.
And the Pope. And the NSA.
And the Cardinals.
And the Cardinal. No, I don't like the Cardinals. I think we can do without them. I think in the end, that's what we've got to.
I think the National League wants to trade them to the American League.
Well, you look at all these bishops and cardinals and priests running about the Vatican, not working for a living, right? I get it. And I'm like, send them home. Have lay people. You know what? Get a mom in there to run the checkbook. That nonsense will stop. And they'll start using coupons.
That's science.
That's just science, right? Literally, find one of these moms whose husband works at GM and they have 8 kids and they all went to Catholic school. And you're like, did you eat? And you know they did.
Yep.
And take her and say, run the Vatican finance. She won't put up with that nonsense. I know it sounds like pandering. I hate when politicians do this, right? Do you remember like President Obama? Oh, put a woman in charge and it'll all be... Dude, you had 8 years to put a woman in charge. Please. So I'm not doing that. I actually believe this. And I saw it in our diocese. Okay, stop. So people will say, oh, the church is going through the worst time ever. Not even close. Trust me. Okay? We have popes who fathered children out of wedlock. Well, of course, they were supposed to be celibate. We've had popes who committed every kind of depravity. We've had cardinals and bishops. My God, have you ever heard of Richelieu, Cardinal Richelieu? Let me just say this. Oops. When you read about martyrs in the Middle Ages, most times it was the church that killed them. It wasn't pagans. I don't know if that's accurate to say most, but a lot of times. So the church is going to pass through this final trial where what's going to happen, and I'm summarizing and I'm going quick. Well, believe it or not, this is quick because I can see all of their words. This is a bad thing. It's fun, but I don't know. So what's going to happen? There's going to be, in the words of our catechism, a mystery of iniquity in the form of a religious deception, offering men and women an apparent solution to their problems at the price of apostasy from the truth. That there will be, or is, or however you want to say it, a person and or idea and or religious answer that gives us easy answers. But all we got to do in exchange is give up the truth. And most people would say, oh, I would never do that. But here's the problem. Yeah, we would. We got to remember. We got to stay humble because when truth took flesh, we killed it. Right? We don't like truth. We need it, but we don't like it. We want to avoid, and boy, is this relevant for Americans right now, 676 in your catechism, the, quote, intrinsically perverse political form of secular messianism, namely the idea that there's a politic or a political structure or a politician that will solve all of our problems. I know it wouldn't work, but I would love to see like somebody running for president do a commercial to be like, I'm not good at everything, but there's a couple things I'm really good at, and I think that'll help us. Remember, Bill Clinton, first time he ran, and I'll tell you I'll never forget this. One of my profs at seminary, or at university, won't say which one, pointed this out. He said, Bill Clinton won the election last night. Because he was asked a question at a town hall and he literally did this. Well, I don't know. I need to think about that. And it helped him. Like Americans went, huh, what, pardon? You might actually think about something? And before y'all get googly, I'm not saying Bill Clinton was a good president. I'm just saying. Secular messianism is the idea that we can save ourselves, that we can create a utopia. We can't. We are messed up people. We're broken. And did I tell you this? We're the only creatures I know of that God made where we get stupider in groups. Do you know about this? Seriously. There's a book about it called Pred Prey. Pred/Prey. I think I'm saying it right. And boy, I read this 15 years ago at least, so I think I'm saying this right. But part of the idea was what they found was when they study groups of animals, 10 ants are smarter than 1 ant. 100 ants are smarter than 10 ants. That as you add ants, the group gets smarter. Humans are the exact opposite. Dolphins are the same as ants. All these other animals are the same. If you put 10 of them together, they're smarter than 1. You put 10 humans in a group, they're stupider than 1. And if you want evidence, dead serious, watch C-SPAN. I never appreciated how unbelievably dumb some of the people who are in Congress are. And I'm serious. I don't say that to be cruel. I'm not saying it to make political jokes. I literally listen to their speeches and I think, that's really stupid. But they're in a group. They're in a pack. This is what happens when you put us together. If we think that we can somehow as humans create an answer, then we have fallen into that sin. Okay? Boy, I am ADHD today. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm kind of trying. So this is what it continues in 676. And then if you look at 677 in your catechism, that's where we talked about last week that our job at the end of the world is not victory, it's to die. And it's the total opposite right? And it's really, to me, a core perversion of Christianity. Namely, we fight to win. And that's what the secular world does. And here's the key. We'll never be better at it than them. Right? We have got to get this in our head that what Jesus did is the rule, not the exception. Right? That he sacrificed himself. See, evil can't stop on its own. I know that sounds funny, but it's literally true. Evil is incapable of not destroying. And so what did Jesus do? Did he come in and crush evil? Not the way you or I would have. He let evil consume him until he was gone. All his blood, all his breath, every kind of wickedness was chucked at him. And it took him down. But then he rose. His power was greater than theirs. And he let the evil consume itself. So I remember in seminary saying to one of my profs, wait, the devil knew Jesus would rise from the dead? He said, well, or the devil knew he would lose by killing Jesus? And he said, sure. I said, well, then why'd the devil do it? He said, because he can't not. It's his nature to destroy. That's why we try to never make deals with evil. And of course we never would but we do. We do. We make our little compromises and we pretend evil will go, oh, we have an agreement. Your enemy has no honor, guys. So God's triumph over the revolt of evil will take the form of the last judgment. So our catechism's clear. It's not going to be a battle we win. It's going to be post-battle judgment. Yeah, I could go on. So what will judgment look like? Oof, look at this face. Okay, you guys won't do well at all. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. I thought that was funny. I gotta look. I gotta mum a look. Okay, so here's what it says. Ready? Following in the steps of the prophets and John the Baptist, Jesus announced the judgment of the last day in his preaching. He will conduct of each one, and then he will basically our secret hearts will be brought to light. Okay? Everything in there will be brought to the light. And that's a little scary. Okay, I get that. But the person judging you loves you. And that's the difference. Okay? When we talk about fear of the Lord, this is a great example of it. Here's what I know with all my heart. I think I'm doing, come Holy Spirit. How's this? I know my task is to grow in love and to grow in my understanding of what love is and grow in my submission to that love. And I also know at work in there is a ton of pride, a ton of sin, a ton of self, okay? In the light of the fire of God's presence, the self will be consumed and the love will be refined and we'll actually want it to happen. The reason it's scary to us now is because we're that broken. But when we see him face to face, it's going to be a good day, a hard day, right? We were just talking about Tuesday. Was that yesterday? Oh my gosh. I was supposed to go to a conference and I had so much work stacked up that we just said, I can't do it. I can't do it. I wanted to go because it was John frickin' Ricardo, Father John Ricardo, and I like that cat. I stayed back and worked. And my brain went fried. What would you say, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, somewhere in there, my brain went fried. It was just like, oh. But so much was done. I was ecstatic. I actually had a little trouble calming down because I didn't feel that weight. Like there were 5 bricks that we took off my heart and brain and said, those are done. Praise God, right? I think that's a tiny little microcosm of what I'm talking about here. What you and I know is we will face God one day. There's not really much we can do about that. I don't think there's anything. There's nothing we can do. You and I one day will see him face to face, and the fire of his love will cauterize our wounds and refine our love. It will burn up our sins. And is it going to be a reckoning? Yeah, there's going to be a reckoning. I could be so much more than I am right now. My mom told me, in fact, she said, I suspect that at judgment, God will show me what I could have been. And won't that be heartbreaking? Yeah. You were watching the World Series with me last night, right? And they were talking about guy with the French name. Bats for the Dodgers. Bats eighth. What is it?
Glasnow?
No, the pitcher, the eighth batter, it'll come to me. But they were pointing out, this is amazing to me. They said Peterson, Jacques Peterson, that's his name, Jacques Peterson, okay? It was kind of wild. Hear me out. You know I love baseball, so I'm going to find a way to squeeze baseball into this, okay? They were saying his batting average goes way up in the playoffs, and that he's a bit spurty in the regular season. And as a fantasy baseball guy, I knew that. I always avoided him because some weeks he'd be stone cold. And they said, this is what John Smoltz said last night, and it blew me away. He said, see, that's because he's not a detail guy, and he won't listen to the coaches about details. So when you get to the off season, he's hyper-focused on all those details because he's craving the win. And then he said, can you imagine if he focused the whole season like that? He said he's batting 360 in the playoffs. 360. And I know this sounds crazy. I want to look up and see, did Ted Williams even bat 360 in a playoff series? My God.
I'll look it up.
So I thought of that. And I know this sounds funny. I thought of this when I fell asleep last night. Is the Lord going to show me what I could have been if I was holier? If I put aside my fear, if I put aside my pride, if so, yeah, it's going to break my heart. But if you look at what happened in, I forget which gospel. Okay, I know this. It was Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. I suspect it was John, because John can be hard. John is so sweet. Not John, excuse me. I expect it's not John. Because if you look at John's gospel, he kind of tries to protect Peter. And it's the sweetest thing I've ever seen.
Ted Williams?
Yeah.
Best playoff series, 406.
Oh, Ted Williams is a god, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so my lovely research assistant pointed out Ted Williams batted 406 in a playoff series. Oh, my gosh. Just to be clear, I don't know if Jesus could bat 406 in a playoff series. Don't tell Jesus I said that. What were we talking about? It was pretty important.
That's the last time a player ever hit that.
What were we talking about? It was pretty important. Who knows? Help me. I was talking about something. I remember thinking that's important to tell them. I mean, John Smoltz, give me all you got. Not give all I got. Oh, here we go. It's actually kind of sweet if you look at John, how often he tries to protect Peter. It's really sweet. Because everyone knew the story by then, right? Everyone knew the story by then. And John, you could just see how much John loved Peter. Like, even in the way he tells this story, okay? But here's the key. Oh, I'm going to cry. Jesus told Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times. And Peter pulled that thing only Peter could. You're wrong. I would never do that to you. And Jesus says, you will. And afterward, make sure you comfort the brothers. Right? What's Jesus' concern? Rally the team. Right? Oh, I love our God. He's so good at being God. He can keep the job. So then you jump ahead. Peter denies Jesus 3 times. And it says Peter turned and saw Jesus looking at him and ran away weeping bitterly. Okay, stick with me. So my whole life, I thought probably what you did. Peter looked at him and saw Jesus' disappointment and sorrow and just couldn't take it. And then I read Father, come Holy Spirit, Father DeMello, who told a story about a time he hurt his mom. And when he looked and saw his dad looking at him, he said, the fierce love in my dad's face made me cry. And he said, that's when I gained an insight into what Peter saw. He didn't look at Jesus and see disappointment and anger. He looked and saw love. And that's what made him run away crying. Disappointment and anger gets you defensive. Dang. That's what we're going to see. And we're going to know what we could have been if we just gave more, if we just bled a little more, if we just put ourselves aside a little more, abandon our self-obsession and our fear. Those are my demons, man. I'm a fearful person. If we can name it, we can get after it in his name, right? And keep that in mind, right? Philippians, verse, he who started the good work in you will see it to completion. See, Jesus doesn't want you healed so that he can live you. He wants you healed because he loves you. And there's a big difference there. A big difference. That's why he can be patient. Can't tell you how many times going to confession or hearing confessions, we have that magic moment of, oh my gosh, I've been doing this my whole life. How did I just see it? And I always tell people, it's what my confessor told me. God hid it from you because you weren't ready. Isn't that lovely? You don't teach a kid that can't walk yet how to get on a bike. And you don't yell at the kid for not being on the bike before he can walk. Where did you learn that? Jesus. Jesus. Tall guy, saved the world, crown of thorns. Maybe you heard of him. He signs my checks. So our attitude toward our neighbor, this is catechism, will disclose acceptance or refusal of grace and divine love. On the last day, Jesus will say to us, quote, truly I say to you, as you did to the least of my brothers, you did to me. Who's the least of our brothers? The people who need the help the most. Who needs the help the most? People like us who are broken. So, everybody. Yeah, you run into these cats. They know everything. They got it together. They're perfect little Catholics. Bless their angel hearts. They don't need a lot of help. They do. They just don't know it. Christ is Lord of eternal life. Full right to pass definitive judgment on the works and hearts of men and women belongs to him as Redeemer of the world. This is the don't judge thing. Okay? Stick with me. Because Jesus said don't judge is a statement that's been used to excuse sinful behavior. And it's the statement people have used to manipulate to say, no, you should scream at everybody in Jesus' name. What does it mean? Okay? Oh, hey, this is perfect. Because I'm a moron, I let myself get dragged in a political argument today. Isn't that stupid? I know better, right? And I made a post that I with all my heart, I know is reasonable. What was the post? It was on Facebook. Don't wear your Trump or Biden buttons or shirts and hats to church. Let's have one spot that's safe from that garbage, right? Let's have one spot where it's actually all about God. And most people responded nice, but then I let myself get suckered in to the insanity of Democrat, Republican, as if either of them give a rip whether we're alive or dead. And I got in and I first tried, and then I just started answering. Okay? Here's the key. Here's what I know with all my heart. That everybody replying to that post, I believe, is trying their best. Some of them I think are wrong. But I also need to recognize they could be right and I could be wrong. I need to be humble. And what I can't ever now respond with is the way some people responded to me, frankly. Well, you don't care. Right? Yeah, I care. I'm caring the best I know how. Am I telling everybody do what I do? Not once. I said, don't wear the dang buttons and shirts and hats and masks. That's all. But I let myself get suckered in. And what in the end is the core? You could read that post and say, my gosh, I think Joe's wrong. And that's lovely. That actually is lovely. You care about truth. But if then you decide I hate the unborn, or I hate the poor, or that somehow Republicans care about the unborn and Democrats care about the poor, now we're into judging. Okay? All we got is this. I think you're doing your best. And I think I'm doing my best. But like you and like me, we all need to change. We all have lots of growing to do. And here's what doesn't help people grow. Screaming at them that they're not growing. Shock. It doesn't help. How has our shrieking at each other helped? Okay? It hasn't. We've lost our minds. And it's okay. I get it. Everything's a little mad right now in our country. But in the end, when we talk about trying to steal judgment from God, let's remember who we're stealing from. If someone asks me, Joe, do you think this is right? They're asking, and I'll tell them what I think, depending on the person. Right? But if I just wander into people's life and question them based on what I see, I've judged, and I best be careful. I think I can share this. I know a couple. Well, I don't know. Okay, I'll do a safer one. Okay? I know a couple that was civilly married, and they were not Christian. And they became Christian. And as part of it, we had to get after some annulments. Okay? I had to regularize their marriage, it's called, right? So I won't get into the details because, my God, it'll take forever. But in the end, they're living in the same house. They're going through RCIA to become Catholic. But the process of getting an annulment takes a lot longer than the process of becoming Catholic. So what does that mean? That means that couples should either live together as brother and sister and receive communion, or if they can't, they should wait to go to communion until I can join them in marriage and do some absolution. Am I making sense? Okay. I know for a fact that couple lived like brother and sister. And that it was like they shared it. Okay? I'm not revealing anything. They shared it. That this was a great and beautiful challenge the Lord gave them. And I also know that parishioners would come up to me and tell me, you know that couple's living in sin? You're giving them communion. Right? Now, on one level, God bless them for trying to protect the Eucharist and for caring about marriage, the sacrament of marriage. And on another level, that's judging. You don't know what you don't know. And you might think, Father, that's rare. It's less rare than you think. I'm telling you, it's less rare than you think. That you see a circle, and I'm telling you, as a priest, we're the great keepers of secrets. You won't believe the crap we know. I swear, there's a priest, I tell you this, somewhere there's a priest who knows if Kennedy was killed by Oswald, or if there's a priest who knew. And I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Why does that priest know? Because someone told them. You won't believe the stuff we know. And I can't tell you how often. I know things that I can't talk about or act on. And people come up with some pretty harsh judgments about folks they don't know are actually morally heroic. You don't know what you don't know. And here's the key. This train wreck, that's my job. That's my job. I'm supposed to convert and become holy. And all these people running around typing their opinions and their your wrongs, I never see on their Facebook page anything about how Jesus is changing them. If conversion isn't happening in you, you have no right to demand it of anyone. You got me? This is this is the judgment thing, right? This is the judgment thing. It doesn't mean we can't call anything wrong. That's baloney. There are things that are wrong and there are things that are right. But we best be careful. And if someone doesn't ask our opinion, shut our mouths. Yeah? And be conscious of the fact that we have no idea what we don't know. No idea. So in the end, if we continue looking at 6, 7, 9, where Jesus is our judge, this is such a cool sentence, and stick with me because it's packed. By rejecting grace in this life, one already judges oneself, receives according to one's works, and can even condemn oneself by rejecting the spirit of love. What does this mean? At core, and this is tough, Christianity is about receiving from God. That's it. Everything about Christianity is about you and me practicing receiving. Here's the key. When I was in seminary, if a brother got sick, then the other brothers would try to rally to take care of them. Namely, I'll get your breakfast, right? So you go down to the lunchroom, and honestly, not being funny, it's a bit of work. You go down 3 flights of stairs, you go down to the basement, you load up a tray for the brother, you walk back up the stairs, you get him in, and then you do it again for yourself, knowing now you've only got about 5-10 minutes to eat. But it was a great way to sacrifice for a brother and to love them. And it was so cool to do that. I loved doing it. I did. And here's the thing. I blew out my Achilles tendon. And then they had to do it for me. And I stinking hated it. I hated people serving me. Why? Pride. Pride. Just let me double check. Yeah, pride. I don't mind meeting people's needs. I hate having need. Isn't that awful? I mean, it's human. I don't condemn myself for it. I'm growing. I'm trying. If I've learned anything here, and I shared this with Carrie numerous times, I'm learning how to receive. I'm learning how to receive. Father, I got that. I feel guilty. Let it go. How many times have we had that talk? It's so important to learn. Why? Because this is the whole thing. And I pull this crap on God all the time. I joke with my confessor. One of my primary confesses. Is that a word? Confessions. Right? I do this to God all the time. What do I confess? Well, you can always confess pride, right? Except for me, like you people can. Confessing pride, right? That's a golden one. That's a go-to, right? But then ready for the next one? Here's what I would say. Oh, and by the way, Father, I attempted to earn God's love about 6 times today. Yeah. And I even make jokes about it. I'll be the one. I will earn God's love. Receive, 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 receive. It's so important. There's all sorts of symbols built into Mass, and I'm dead serious, about receiving. Like, how do you go to communion? It literally is absolutely forbidden for you to snatch the host from the priest. You receive, either in the mouth or on the hands. Look at that. There, I lined it up. And you think, well, what's the big deal? We receive. We receive. We don't initiate. Baptism, you can't self-baptize. You can't. Someone has to baptize you. Someone just wrote something very clever. Can I acknowledge it?
Yes.
I am very proud to announce that I am not prideful. That's from Sean Quinn, who genuinely posts some of the funniest stuff on Facebook. I want to put that out there. Here's how we mess up receiving, okay? When our focus is so much on doing it right that we've unintentionally made it about, did we do it right? Does that make sense? Or no? Okay, so you go to Mass. I see this all the time on Twitter, right? Twitter, which is the devil. Sunday night, here's what you can count on. Catholic Twitter, there's about 3 posts. Spread out over 900 people. 1,000. Right? One post will be, my priest didn't talk about blah, 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 so he's a bad dude. I can't tell you how often people post that crap. If that priest doesn't preach on abortion, he's a bad priest. If that priest doesn't preach on racism, he's blah, blah, blah. Okay, Becky, whatever. We're just going to keep doing our best, but I wish you were in charge. This, yeah, because it's not like we write our homilies before. That's the one that cracks me up. It's like, I work my tail off, guys. I'm serious. I've got 3 pages of notes for this Sunday's homily. Serious. Now, something might happen Friday. Right? Something might happen Friday in our country where then on Saturday someone will be, I can't believe you didn't preach on that. Ah!
So your sermon's going to be 3 pages long?
No, it won't be that long.
Because I was going to find another man.
Yeah, no, that's the notes. When I finish, it'll be 5 sentences.
Okay.
Right? The first sentence, the 3 main points, the last sentence. Aida. And sometimes the sentences tell them about, and that's where I get in trouble. Because then I tell a long story, like now. The other post you see all the time, my priest didn't do it right. Okay? You see that all the time. The priest did this. The priest did this liturgical abuse or that liturgical abuse. And then the third post, what's the one you see the third most common? Now I'm making this. This isn't scientific. This might be the most common. Novus Ordo Mass is awful. You need to go to the Latin Mass. Or vice versa. Well, you never see that. I've never seen Novus Ordo people crapping on the TLM, but I see TLM crapping on the Novus Ordo all the time. What do all 3 of those posts have in common?
Judging others.
Judging others. And by the way, it's all about them. Mm-hmm. Did you get God in the form of unleavened bread? Then what are you griping about? Did you hear words that God gave humans 4,000 years ago read to you? Did you stand in a room with a ton of other people who love God and want to be holy? Then what are we griping about? And whenever I point this out, people are like, oh, you just want us to pay and pray. No, I don't. But I want our focus to be on what is so beautiful. Yeah, the priest screwed everything up. The choir was awful. Kids were shrieking. And I still got Jesus. He was faithful even when we weren't. Why not rejoice in that? Because we're obsessed with doing it right. And why are we obsessed with doing it right? Pride. It's about receiving. That looks like food.
It is.
Is that food?
She just brought it.
Apple, bacon, cheddar, pie. I swear to God, that's what it says.
Oh! It's hot. It's very hot.
Let's wrap the show up.
Sweet, fancy Moses.
We may have to go now.
We have to stop this stupid show because... Oh, wait. So keep this in mind. Gosh darn it, I didn't get to how it's all going down. I'm so spacey today. And I'm not spacey. I'm out there today.
You can finish.
I'm hungry. This is why I try to teach when I'm hungry. Did I ever tell you that? People are like, Father, why don't you eat before a Bible study? No, because then I'm sluggish. Oh, Carrie didn't make this.
Feel how hot this is. I just carried it down the hallway.
Wow. Okay, she picked it up with her bare hands and went, feel how hot it is. I touched it and I'm in pain. This woman's tough. So, guys, listen. Oh, my gosh, is that Father Sean? Did I see Oh, you guys, I love Father Sean. You should follow him. I'm serious. I love Father Sean. I love Father Sean. Here's how much I love him. I gave him a pair of my boots. Seriously, a pair of my cowboy boots.
Nice.
I haven't given my cowboy boots to a nephew, and I gave them to him. He's from England. They don't get that stuff. They eat like burned meat and wear uncomfortable shoes. So, sorry. Oh, Veronica. Hey, Veronica, aren't you Scotland? Isn't Veronica Scotland? You got 2 UK people here. And I bet we got more UK people. Okay, stop. So, anyway, here's the key. There's going to be 2 judgments, all right? Let's see a piece of that pie. No, because it's mine. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't love anybody this much. Even my dad is looking. I'm like, back off. I'm just kidding. When you and I die here, our souls will go to judgment. Our bodies will, wow, look at, the Lord apparently agrees with me. Do you see this? Look at what just happened. I started talking about finals. So guys, if I die in the next 24 hours, this thing prophesied it. And it looks like it's going to work out pretty good for me. Right? Because if like the light changed instead and it was like flames and demons, then we're like, Joe might be in a lot of trouble. God of War, look. I'm sorry. Okay, I promise I'll behave. So, okay, here, by the way, someone told me this. They were not getting notifications for my show. And they started getting them when they went to my Facebook page and clicked follow or like. I can't remember which. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to tell you that. So if you would like to get notifications for the show, which happens Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Eastern time, noon Eastern time, then I think if you go to my Facebook page, Father Joseph J. Krupp, or facebook.com/Joe in Black, because there's 2 Facebook pages, mine and I'm sorry, I can't figure it out. If you go to the Father Joseph J. Krupp one, and you click like or follow or both, I don't know, then you should get notifications for this, okay? And I think that's the key, because here's the thing. I had 18,000 followers a week ago. I have 19,000 this week. And I think it's because of whatever people are doing now to get notifications. It's pretty cool. If I can get to 20, I don't know why, but that matters to me. Probably pride.
Well, we'll eat pie.
We'll eat pie. So I'm going to have to go to next week, aren't I? I'm sorry. Okay, so next week, here's what we'll do. I promise I'll try to be more focused. Okay? And what we'll do is we'll look at when we die and then when Jesus returns. Okay? That's what we'll do. So we've got how judgment looks. We've got all of that about the Antichrist. We've covered all of it. And hey, Bama. I guess that's it. Is that it?
Yes.
Should I show him the pie? Okay, hold on. Now, is this a pie, or is this like lunch pie? Is this dessert
Well,
pie?
it has apple in it.
It's got apple in it. Look at this. Look at this. It smells divine. I want to mash my face in it. And then I won't have to share it with you jerks. Okay. So that's actually a quote from the Gospel of Luke. I want to mash my face in it so then I don't have to share with you jerks. In the Greek. I don't know how they translate in English. So what I'll do is wrap up now. And tomorrow, we'll have on Guess Who, Kevin Nugent, superstar action figure, pocket calculator sold separately. I don't know. And then on Friday, I'll take your questions and answer them in our new church. Which one? Oh my gosh, is that Father Schmitter? I'm sorry to keep doing this. You guys, you just got to know that that's a beautiful priest. I'm serious. I'm going to actually pause and tell you that Father Philip Schmitter is what a lot of us should strive for. He takes the gospel and allows it to transform how he treats the most vulnerable members of our society. I mean it. And it's a glow around him. If you get a chance to meet Father Phil Schmitter, you should. Okay? His heart is filled with love. And I am grateful to Jesus for him. Okay? So there's 3 great priests that were on here today. Father Jeff Rose, who's the best friend I've got. Father Sean, who's my frickin' hero. And Father Phil, who's a stinking saint. And now you got idiot boy talking to you.
Yep. Father.
Is there another priest on here?
No.
Priests don't watch this
Father
usually,
Phil's
trust me.
here.
Jeff Rose invited
Oh,
me.
thanks, Father.
Father Rose invited me to just come on down to Toledo and leave this behind.
Okay, Jeff, you're my best friend, and now I hate you. If I lose Kevin because of you, because you know he can pay you more than me.
I'm counting on it.
I actually know like drugstores that could pay you more than me.
I could pay more with my change purse.
Yeah, Dad's change purse
No,
is
your dad got
basically.
me covered. He takes care of me.
Yeah. All right. So oh my gosh, we're over. Okay. You guys are great. I'm sorry I was so flighty today. I will try to be more focused next time, but I won't be. But I think there was some gems in here. I do. Okay. And so next week we will talk about what our personal judgment will look like and what the final judgment will look like and why you are all in trouble, but I should be fine. Okay. What? That was
Oh,
funny?
yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Totally. Dying.
Okay. Carrie, I'm cutting your pay. Love you too, New York. So I'll do the closing prayer now, and then I will see you beautiful people tomorrow when we meet Kevin Nugent, my lovely research assistant, business manager, dad extraordinaire, and grandpa who doesn't get to hold his grandchild yet. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Jesus, thank you for this opportunity to love you and each other more. Thank you for these good people who come here and listen. I don't even know what to say, Lord, but my heart's filled. We ask that you please bless us and be with everyone we love. We ask for the grace to put ourselves aside and learn to receive you, to not try to earn what you freely give us. Help us be holy. For all the people and circumstances that we fret about or that we worry about, we give them to you. And we ask you to transform them and give them back to us and teach us to love. And whatever the future brings, we love you and we trust you. And may Almighty God bless you all. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. I'll see you wonderful people tomorrow. Fight the power.